What if the very sky you gaze upon, the sun, the moon, and all the stars, everything you perceive as real is actually nothing more than a reflection, just an elaborate illusion?
It's a powerful starting point, isn't it? Really grabs you.
Definitely. Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're taking a deep dive into, well, a pretty mind-bending source. The Universe Trapped in the Black Hole of Ignorance by Elena Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission for this deep dive is to explore this really radical idea that our whole reality is just a projection inside what the author calls a gigantic black hole.
Yeah.
And, to try and figure out the path to an inner awakening that she describes, we're really looking for those insights, those aha moments that help us see past the everyday.
And right away, this perspective, it just challenges our most basic ideas about existence, doesn't it?
Totally.
It asks us to think about a world where everything we touch and see is described as like limited, temporary, like a dream.
Wow, like a dream.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just philosophy. It's saying our reality itself is fundamentally illusory. So this deep dive really pushes us to question that and think about what might be, beyond the black hole and these higher astral worlds she talks about.
Realms where the light was never extinguished? It sets quite a stage.
It really does.
So the author, Cooper, she paints this really stark picture right from the start, doesn't she? Chapter 1, The Deception of the Sky.
Absolutely. Stark is the word.
She says the sky itself, what we see, was nothing more than a reflection, an illusion built within the invisible walls of a gigantic black hole. Just imagine that for a second.
It turns everything upside down, looking up at what you think is infinite space, but it's just a projection.
And inside this abyss of endless darkness, she argues humanity has built entire civilizations upon appearances.
Mm-hmm. Chasing things like.
Yeah, money, power, fame, glory, with the ego running the show, all based on this distorted vision.
And the really heavy part is the claim that this black hole hasn't just, hidden things from view.
No, it's swallowed them. According to Cooper, stars, galaxies, even light itself.
It implies a kind of total sensory trap, but one we're not even aware of.
So if that's the case, then matter, what we think is solid.
It's just a passing shadow, as the text puts it. But it's key to see this not as, like, literal metal bars.
Right, not a physical prison.
No, more a prison of perception, a fragile screen of the senses that really limits what we can grasp.
And the true universe, the free one, is still out there, in higher dimensions, untouched.
That's the idea, which of course leads to the big question.
How do you perceive truth if your senses are fundamentally limited?
Exactly. It suggests we need a whole different way of knowing, of seeing.
Which brings us to the next big step, right? How does anyone even start to see through this illusion?
Well, the source talks about the beginning of an awakening for, just a few people initially.
And it's not some big bang, is it? It's subtle.
Very subtle. Small signs, it says. Like a dream that returned night after night, or a strange encounter, or this feeling of nostalgia for a place you've never known.
Little whispers.
Yeah, little whispers that start to stir something deeper.
And then for these people, something ignites. This fire, she calls Kundalini.
Right, the energy of Kundalini. It's often described as this dormant spiritual energy, and here it's like a golden flame rising up the spine.
Illuminating the mind and heart.
Exactly. And this is where they start to see the illusion for what it is. But interestingly, it doesn't lead to despair.
No, they get a gift. A kind of divine light, faith, hope.
An inner clarity, yeah. A certainty that changes everything. They learn to live almost inside an invisible bubble of peace.
Even seeing pain differently as part of a greater design.
Mm-hmm. And here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because this awakening isn't just some abstract internal feeling. It shows up in really unique ways. It gives people these gifts.
And it's fascinating how the source says this awakening doesn't pick based on, worldly status.
Not at all. It chooses by the heart. Humility and love are what matter.
And the examples are quite moving. Elisa, the teacher.
Yeah, Elisa sees the stars as fake, but somehow radiates this incredible peace and joy. She's found something deeper inside.
Or Lucia, the widow.
Right. Lucia feels this invisible light and discovers she can heal invisible wounds of souls. She starts volunteering in these spiritual hospitals, places beyond our normal perception.
Wow. And Hassan, too, the war veteran.
Yes, Hassan's pain starts dissolving after he dreams of this crystal city, and he also ends up becoming a healer in those same spiritual hospitals.
So this really illustrates that discovery of inner gifts concept.
Precisely. The idea that every creature carries inner gifts just waiting. And they're not for showing off, but for, like, a shared responsibility.
And some gifts are really simple.
Yeah, like a genuine smile, or just knowing how to be silent and listen. The Source calls these the most precious of all.
But as the author points out pretty clearly, this awakening path, it's not all smooth sailing.
Oh, definitely not. It comes with real challenges.
The awakened faced misunderstanding and loneliness, people calling them delusional.
Right. Some lost jobs, friends. Their new way of being just didn't fit the old world.
Like David's story. His neighbors were scared, doubtful, made him question his own experience.
Mm-hmm. Was the light even real, or just in his head?
Or Hassan, back in those spiritual hospitals, facing souls filled with rage. That must have been incredibly difficult.
Yeah, learning that faith isn't just about feeling good in the light. It's tested most fiercely when you're facing darkness that, just won't budge.
But the book says that's exactly where true faith is born.
That's the paradox. True faith was born precisely there when everything seemed to collapse. It's not about believing only when things are easy or clear.
It's seeing even when one could not believe.
Exactly. It implies that real conviction comes when all the external props are gone.
So after going through all these trials, what does the author say lies beyond? What's the reward, if you can call it that?
Well, the Source gives this really breathtaking description of the cities of light. These are in higher dimensions, apparently.
Not like cities here, I imagine.
Not at all. Life there has forms, colors, totally beyond our imagination. They shone like a living mosaic. Houses made of luminous matter. Gardens that are fields of energy.
Wow. And home there means something different.
Yeah, it's where the soul feels whole without fear and without masks, a place of true belonging.
And we hear about David seeing crystal towers.
Right, or Hassan being guided to specific healing places within these cities. But importantly, they aren't just like a final destination or a prize.
Yeah.
No, they're described as a school. They're actively preparing these awakened souls for something more.
To become guardians of the light.
Exactly. It suggests this ongoing process, learning and growth on a scale we can barely comprehend.
Okay, so they reach these incredible cities of light after all the struggle. You'd think that's the end goal. Bliss achieved.
You might think so. But the Source introduces this ultimate choice, a really profound dilemma for these souls.
Which is?
Do they remain in the realms of spirit, enjoying that wholeness and light? Or do they choose to return to the earth to bring light to those still asleep?
Wow, that's huge. Because
Okay.
returning means
It means a massive sacrifice, clothing themselves again in flesh, taking on the heaviness of matter, forgetting who they are, suffering more trials.
why would they do it?
The text calls it a choice of compassion. They hear the silent cries for help from souls still trapped in the illusion on earth.
And we see examples of this choice.
Yes. Sophia chooses to come back specifically to plant those seeds of awakening. Hassan to bring healing, drawing on his own journey.
In Davide.
Davide chooses out of love for those still searching, even knowing he might forget everything he experienced in the higher realms.
So what does this all mean? This choice, this return. What are the deeper layers here?
Well, one really fascinating angle the text gets into is how this choice connects with time and soul memory. It's quite different from how we experience time.
How so?
The author suggests that time does not flow as it does on Earth, and souls can get, stuck, trapped in repetitive cycles of suffering by constantly reliving old memories or traumas.
Yeah, stuck in a loop.
Exactly, until they understand the lesson behind it. Like Sophia helping that grieving woman by showing her the child's soul was actually fine, had moved on.
Or Hassan helping the man obsessed with going home.
Right, guiding him to see that true home is internal, which led Davide to see reincarnation differently.
And that was a punishment.
No, not a sentence, but a gift. An opportunity to heal things that weren't understood before.
And there's mention of a crystal archive. A library of time.
Yeah, a place where souls can apparently view their past lives, but with no judgment, only clarity.
Making time less of an enemy.
Exactly. More like a river that always leads back to the same source, the eternal present of the soul.
It really underlines that message from the Source itself in the text.
That the choice was free, no judgment. Staying or returning wasn't about being good enough,
It was just about love.
purely about love.
Wow. Okay, what an incredible arc we've covered in this deep dive. From that initial, frankly, shocking idea of the sky being an illusion inside a black hole of ignorance, through the subtle signs of awakening, the discovery of these inner gifts, the really tough trials of faith.
The glimpses of those amazing cities of light.
Right. And then this final, profound, compassionate choice to return, to come back into the darkness out of love.
Yeah.
It feels like the core message running through everything is that the universe, in all its forms, is nothing but an invitation to remember the truth.
That sums it up beautifully. But it does leave one big question hanging, doesn't it?
Which
What about everyone else? You know, the ones who don't choose to awaken, who stay caught in the illusion, focused on matter, on the ego. Is that it for them?
Yeah, is there no hope?
Well, the text actually gives a really comforting answer towards the end.
Okay.
It says, nothing in the universe is destined to remain imprisoned forever. Even souls who might fall into, let's say, lower, heavier dimensions because of their own choices.
Even them.
Even them. Divine law allows them to return to Earth, reincarnating as many times as needed until the heart opens to the light.
So destiny isn't fixed. It's not condemnation.
No, it's framed as opportunity. The doors of light always remain open, and every single soul, no matter how far they seem to stray, is ultimately called back.
The black hole is nothing but an illusion of separation. Beyond it, the divine light awaits.
Precisely. Which leaves us with a final thought to ponder, perhaps.
Go on.
If that black hole is just an illusion of being separate, and every return, even the hard ones, is actually a chance to wake up, what obstacle in your life, something that feels totally insurmountable right now, might actually be an invitation, an opportunity to find that light within yourself again?